Welcome back, everybody. We are going to do another product review for you today, and I'm your host, Heirloom Reviews. And so we got something here that was sent to us, and they want us to give you kind of a prequel to the product before it's actually loaded and warehoused and inventoried inside of Amazon. So it's just kind of a preemption video, but eventually it will be available on Amazon. As of right now, I believe they said it's available on eBay. We will leave whatever links we have below so you can go there and buy it then. But this is definitely a product you're definitely going to want to look into. Now, what exactly is that? Well, let's open it up and see what it is first. So, we have actually two, just so you know. We have this one here, and then we have a smaller one here. So we'll look at what they are both, and we'll find out what it is. This is, if you do order it, it's generally going to come like this, okay? This is all going to be pre-packaged. It's going to be pre-set up. They're just going to put them in the boxes for you and ship it right to you. So there's no like custom packaging or anything. It's just going to come this way. If you're just ordering one, it's probably going to come in a large envelope or something, and or a box even, and they'll just ship it out like that. Let's open this up, and we'll look at what this is. Alright, so what we got right here I'm going to try to get you close as possible so you can read it. This is very important information. It's garden netting. So what is that? If anybody who's done any kind of gardening in the past, or if you're a permaculture gardenist or a full forest gardenist or anything like that, you're going to know that this is an absolutely essential piece of material all the way around. Is it foolproof for every single creature? No, but for birds, yeah. And why do I say that? Well, if you live out where I live, up here in the Appalachian Mountains of Pennsylvania, we got every type of creature there is, and you would be absolutely amazed at what creatures can circumvent whatever you have protecting your thing, that they'll find their way in and get in. There's no 100% foolproof. It's just a random thing. However, this will prevent one of the problems. And I'll give you a scenario with this, and I'll show you the product in a second. For example, over here where I live, we get massive swarms of what they call those, they're blackbirds with the speckles on them. I think they call those, not sparrows, but they're called, there's a name for those birds, but they will literally fill the sky like as if you dumped a whole bottle of pepper out. I mean, they literally, the entire trees, everything gets like covered by literally the thousands of them. I've seen this happen several times on my property. And when that happens, if you're, like I grow blueberries, if your blueberry bushes are in fruiting stage, even if they're not fully ripened, these birds will literally descend down upon them, and they will literally pick those berry plants completely clean. They'll pick them so clean, you'll see leaves all over the ground. I mean, I'm talking by the thousands. And so, yeah, I go inside, I get like a firecracker and throw them out there, and you see them all dispersed and everything. But if you're not there and that happens, that's it. Bye. You only get once a year to get your blueberries, strawberries, your raspberries, your blackberries. You'll be devastated now, and these things can really they can really get into like other things like your tomatoes. And the problem with the tomatoes and these birds is they like to blast holes into them, and that kind of just ruins the tomato. You know what I mean? Do you really want to sit there and like cut away that piece? I guess you can, but it just kind of ruins it. I don't want to eat after a bird stuck his beak all the way in my tomato, so you know, I usually chuck those, but it's an unfortunate thing, and it does happen, and it can really ruin your crops. So you're going to need to use something like this. Now, I do want to point out another purpose for this netting as well. It's not just for birds. You can use it for birds. However, there are other things like deer, rabbits, possums, raccoons. It will keep these things out. Like for example with deer, if you have your gardens open and you kind of just wrap it around the outside of it, let's say you don't have a bird problem but you got a deer problem, you can use this to actually wrap on the outside of your garden. And all the deer needs to do is touch something with its nose, like a fence, and they generally don't go inside of there. It's just the way it is with deer. Netting for deer there is a thing known as deer netting, but generally, any netting is generally good with deer, and this is a good alternative for that too. It will help keep larger creatures like that out of your garden. Is it going to stop a bear? No, I don't think anything stops a bear except a shotgun. But this is it. So let's open it up. going to come just the way you see it here. Now, I don't want to, like, open this in such a way where I can't put it back together because I'm not going to be able to use it until spring, but we'll do it anyway. And I am going to use this. You'll see it in the garden because I do have a problem with those blackbirds. I can't remember what they're called. They're little blackbirds with speckles on them. They're not sparrows. I can't remember. Heckles or something like that. I can't. They're the worst. Those are the ones that do the most damage, just so you know. All right, so we're opening that sucker right up. All right. That's it again. La da 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 da. I give you throw it sideways. Go your whole way in and take you away from it. Okay. All right. So it comes like this, right? This is how it's going to come, just like this. It's going to be very folded up. You're also going to get a whole bunch of this, and I believe we'll take it out and look at it. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice. Okay. Okay. Comes in, you get like this little accessory bag, and you are going to get a number of these. I believe it's about almost a dozen of these stakes, and these are just basically you bang them into the ground just to keep it down. That's really handy too, by the way. I actually like that. It's a pretty clever idea. I never actually thought of adding an addition to, like, say, a netting. That's a great idea. That way it's to the ground. And the reason why that's important, a lot of people don't notice, they put the netting on the top of the plant and they leave the whole bottom of the thing open, thinking, well, it's just to keep them off the top, right? No, the birds will actually land on the ground, hop over underneath the net, go up inside, pick all your blueberries, then drop back down and go out. That's what they do. You literally have to get the thing sealed like you're sealing it. You know what I'm saying? They will get in there. It also comes with a number of these zip ties now, right? And these are the black zip ties. Now I'm looking at these zip ties. I don't know this for sure, but to me, I'm not going to say that they're 100% UV resistant, but I would imagine they are. They're not going to be like those typical white ones that are thin plastic. You put them in the sun for about, about 6 months, and then they snap and they fall apart and break. The sun corrodes the plastic. These look like they're going to be more of a UV resistant type, so it'll last you a couple years. And I would imagine the main purpose for these is this kind of more of a permanent sealing type of situation, like an apple tree, a pear tree, anything like that. You're probably going to want to really attach this very well and permanently. So here's the material. There's a lot here, guys. This is huge. So you can see the pattern on that. It's not a very a large pattern, but they look like they're about maybe 3/4 by 3/4 inch square holes, which is fine for birds. You don't need any more than that. The material looks very strong. Look at that. I can't get my fingers through it. I finally broke it. It's very strong. Birds are not going to get through that. Will a possum or a mouse or a field mouse or a squirrel chew its way through? Well, of course. I mean, it is plastic, but it's definitely going to deter it. Unless you really got persuasive squirrels that are real problematic, you may want to have to go a different route with that. I've done videos on the Have a Heart trap, so you might want to watch those videos in that case. But your atypical bird, this is absolutely perfect. There's not so much of the material where it's going to crowd out the sunlight to the point where you're starting to shade cloth your plants. Because a lot of people are kind of funny with that. I'm kind of funny with shade clothing. I do it for a little while, but eventually I want the plants to reach full capacity as far as the sun goes. And we really don't want to block any sunlight out. So there it is. All right, we got this one right here. This one's also going to come that way. Boom, boom, boom. Right, we're going to open that one up. Move all that good stuff out of the way. And I don't know what to see. I don't know what's on the inside of this one. So you just got to be. Oh, look at that. Now this also comes in a nice bag, nice and sealed, almost like when you buy fresh pillowcases. Comes like that, a little Ziploc bag in there, nice and clean. You don't have to worry about any wetness or bugs. You fold it all back up and you get it in there. Man, you are good for another year. Here we go. Voila. Wow, now this stuff is really, this looks like some good shade clothing stuff here. I might be able to use that for shade clothing as well as netting here. garden netting. I don't have my glasses, sorry. I'll show you the picture. Alright. And it's another garden netting, but this is much smaller. It just says 100% protection. It's telling me the size of this one that we're reviewing here is 10 by 33 feet. That's pretty massive. That's pretty huge. 10 by 33. It's not giving me any specs as far as the size of the mesh, but let's open it up and take a look. So again, it comes like this. Oh, here we go. I could just do a peel and pull. If I could get it back in the bag, I want to do that until spring when I'm actually ready to use this. But like I say, I might actually use this for, I might try it on a, what do you call that, shade clothing, because it might just be enough shade clothing, just not to fry the plants. Wow, this is really nice stuff, guys. It's like a nice silk material, nice and white. Yeah, a little bit of like plasticky smell, but it's not toxic, I would imagine. But it's nice, very soft almost. It's very nice material. Wow, look at that, guys. Look at that material. That's literally like a fine silk. It's spacing wise. So hopefully you could see that. The mesh size for it. It's pretty tight, to be honest with you. Now, why would you want netting that's that tight? This is where it gets interesting. Now, this type of netting is extremely valuable for anybody who has major insect problems. For example, like I do, up here in the Appalachian Mountains, we got every insect known to man up here, including the ones that man never even found out about. So we need stuff like this to protect us. This particular item is going to come in extremely handy for certain vegetables. Like I have, for example, one of the problems I have here are vine borer beetles. They like to randomly show up when they want to show up, and when they decide to plant themselves on my vines, unfortunately, the problem with that is you can't know where they landed and where they laid the eggs unless you search the entire vine. And some of my vines can get 30, 40 feet long, like pumpkin vines and things, and it's just a harassing ordeal to go through. So this type of meshing is going to keep these smaller type things out instead of like birds per se. This is going to keep off those type of insects. Another major problem we have here up in this part of the country of northern Pennsylvania in the Appalachian Mountains, we have Japanese beetles. That's also a very, very serious problem. This particular problem with the Japanese beetles is it's a major issue here, and trying to spray them is just an unsustainable option because it's just they're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. They're literally by the millions. I've seen them. They'll strip an entire oak tree down, so to speak, where there's no leaves left on it. That's how much it is. So you need to put something on your plant. Like I have grapevines and I have other bushes that I want to keep them off. This would probably be a more appropriate material to use. I wish I had something black that I can put this, like a black cloth. It's very fine mesh. I would say mesh size, the hole like itself, just looking at it, I would say maybe 1/32 of an inch by 1/32 of an inch. Something like that. It's very, very small. Maybe millimeter wise, it's very, very tiny. Not much is going to get through there. Can aphids get through it? Well, those particular type of insects can get through almost anything, so nothing's going to help you for that one. But this will keep out all the larger chewing insects and things like that. Maybe cucumber beetles, those kind of things. You can also probably use this as a landscape type fabric. You can put it down below your plant, like on the ground, and seal it up, like put a zip tie like this, like you cut off a section of it, a section of this, put it down below your plant on top of your mulch, and then bring it up the stem a little bit and take a zip tie like this and just kind of zip tie it to the bottom so nothing can drop down and then go in, because that's how some of these insects are. They drop down and they lay their eggs in there. But this is a very, very useful material. I could see a lot of other application for this other than just simple, because of the mesh size mainly. I could see a lot of other application for this material above and beyond just being shade cloth. For example, I like to use material like this for a lot of things. You can actually use this for a lot of stuff, guys. This stuff here. The other stuff, yeah, but the hole size limits you a little bit more. This I can use for anything from straining. I can use it for a strainer. Like, for example, I crush grapes, right? And so I have to put the grapes either into, what do you call that, cheesecloth, and then squeeze it out. Or I can use a material like this, which I'd actually prefer a little more, like this, and still kind of put it together and kind of use that as a straining material instead of cheesecloth for my grape squeezing. I also see an application for this where, like I said, you can use it for a mulch on the bottom of your plant. You can lay it down on top of your regular physical mulch. Put that down on top, cover the bed itself, and prevent anything from going down and landing in the soil and laying their eggs, like cutworms, cucumber beetles, and so on, right? Because that's how they work. I also see this as a potential option for a lighter version of a shade cloth. So what do I mean by that? Well, shade cloths, you can buy many grades of shade cloth, where some shade cloths are really going to shade out things a lot, and some will shade things out a lot less, depending on where you've got your plants. In a case like this, it might just be enough to just kind of take some of the direct sunlight off your plants, just enough so you don't kill them. So it could potentially be used as a shade cloth, depending on your situation, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of application for this. I actually really endorse this product at this point. And like I say, we will use this later on during the year. So as you see us do some of our reviews, you might see some of our stuff wrapped with this and everything. And then that way you'll know what it is when you see it, and maybe we'll talk about it then. But anyway, guys, that's about it. There's no coupon codes at this time, but maybe in the future there will be. And if there is, we'll just put them down below. You can apply those codes there. And once it's available on Amazon, we'll put the link down there as well. And if you are interested in this product, you can go and visit them on eBay for now until they're ready to put it on Amazon. So that's where you would have to get it. So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video on this particular garden netting. I am very excited about it, and I'm glad they sent me the product to actually review and actually use in the garden this year. So hopefully we'll be able to really take advantage of this particular product. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.